Okay, good evening, everyone. This is a regular meeting of the Jersey City Municipal Council. Today is Wednesday, September 10th. In the year 2014, we had a 6 p.m. scheduled start. My phone tells me it's 6:14 p.m. Would everyone kindly silence their phones? Thank you. Councilperson Gajewski for roll call.
Here.
Ramchal.
Here.
Bagiano. Yun.
Here.
Osborne.
Here.
Coleman.
Here.
Rivera.
Here.
Waterman.
Here.
Lavaro.
Here.
We have 9 members in attendance. Would everyone kindly rise to observe a moment of silence? Very much. Remain standing for a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. On behalf of the Council President and the members of the Council, in accordance with the New Jersey Public Laws of 1975, Chapter 231, the Open Public Meetings Act, better known as the Sunshine Law, adequate notice of this meeting was provided by mail to the Jersey City Reporter, the Jersey Journal. Additionally, the annual notice was posted on the bulletin board of the first floor of City Hall and filed in the office of the City Clerk on Wednesday, November 27th, 2013, indicating the meetings and caucuses of the Jersey City Municipal Council for the calendar year 2014. In addition, at the time of its preparation, the agenda of this meeting was similarly disseminated on Thursday, September 4th, 2014, at 4 p.m. to the Mayor, Council, Business Administrator, and local newspapers, and posted on the World Wide Web. So we're in total compliance with the Sunshine Law. Council members, before we get to business, could I have a motion to add first reading ordinance 3Q, resolutions 10Z, 10Z1, and 10Z2?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilperson Osborne, seconded by Councilperson Rivera. On the motion, Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bagiano.
Aye.
Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Council President.
Aye.
We have a 9-0 vote to approve the motion. Members of the Council, I gave you a new Z and Z1. The attachments had been flipped, so you had the wrong attachments to the resolution, so you're in good shape now. Okay. What's your pleasure before we go to business? Anything special, Council President?
Did we defer already? No? I make a motion to defer to 4H.
Second.
We have a motion to defer to 4H.
And I second.
We have a motion to defer to item 4H. 4H is City Ordinance 14-099, an ordinance authorizing the City of Jersey City to enter into a lease agreement as lessee with Jersey City Municipal LLC as lessor for office space to be constructed at the Hub on an approximately .556 acre portion of Lot 17, Block 21201, intersection of Kearney Avenue and Martin Luther King Drive. This is to defer. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bagiano.
Aye.
Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman.
Aye.
Lavaro.
Aye.
All right, we're deferring to 4H.
Robert, I think this is a great project, but I'd like to move that we table this until everybody's on the same page.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilperson Coleman, seconded by Councilperson Osborne. And this is to table Item 4H, Ordinance 14099.
Robert, before we
Prior to the close of the public hearing. Yes, Council President.
take the vote, I just wanted to make one clarification, because at our caucus meeting, it was suggested that we may have to, whenever we table something, that might have to go back to first reading if it's done without public comment. Just to get clarification, spoke with the city clerk and corporation counsel today. It's not necessary to go back to first reading. If an ordinance has been tabled, only necessary if substantial changes have been made. We can untable this item or any item that's been tabled at a future meeting, provided we provide a public hearing and that we advertise the public hearing prior to it being considered. So we need to provide 7 days in advance, but if there are no substantial changes to this ordinance, it can be untabled at a future meeting without going back to first reading.
Thank you, Council President.
You're welcome.
On the motion to table, Councilperson Gajewski?
Aye.
Ramchal?
Aye.
Fagiano?
Aye.
Yun?
Aye, and also, City of Jersey City need, yes, no question of City Hall Annex building. But the way financial planning, actually, I have an issue. Not only myself, a lot of taxpayer. So I hope it's the City of Jersey City come up new plans or financial plan to build City Hall Annex building soon. Because if we build the Annex building as soon as possible, we're able to save $3 million per year for rent. So I hope the City of Jersey City come up new plan to build the Annex building. So I vote aye.
Councilperson Osborne?
Aye.
Coleman?
Aye.
Rivera?
Aye.
Waterman? Council President.
Aye.
Been tabled by a 9-0 vote. All right, council members, this is going to take a while, and this will prepare me for 2 weeks from now, or actually 2 weeks from yesterday. Our next regular meeting is Tuesday the 23rd, because Tuesday the 23rd.
3D.
Excuse me?
Can we pull 3D?
3D?
Yeah.
Okay. Council members, allow me to read the title of these ordinances in the record. 3A is City Ordinance 14103. It's an ordinance authorizing the City of Jersey City to file an offer of financial assistance, OFA, to acquire certain property, collectively known as the 6th Street Embankment, from Conrail and such other Conrail properties as are necessary to connect with the main line in the vicinity of CP Waldo. Council members, I gave you all a memo, and there's a petition and communication from the opponent's attorney. So that's on the record. 3B, City Ordinance 14104, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 275, second-hand dealers of the Jersey City Municipal Code. 3C, City Ordinance 14105, an ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City adopting amendments to the Land Development Ordinance, Section 345-10, Environmental Commission for expanding the purposes of the Environmental Commission. 3D, City Ordinance 14106, the Danforth Avenue Transit Village redevelopment plan is withdrawn. E, Ordinance 14107, an ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City adopting amendments to the 9th and Brunswick redevelopment plan to expand permitted uses, modify parking requirements, and other administrative items. 3F, City Ordinance 14108, an ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City adopting amendments to the Village redevelopment plan to permit apartment buildings on Block 11110. 3G, City Ordinance 14109, is an ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City adopting amendments to the Land Development Ordinance, supplementary zoning as it pertains to height exceptions for rooftop appurtenances. 3H, City Ordinance 14110 is an ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City adopting amendments to the Tidewater Basin redevelopment plan to create a mixed-use district. 3I is City Ordinance 14111 is an ordinance approving a 20-year tax exemption for an emerging market residential condominium project to be constructed by Community Asset Preservation Alliance of Jersey City No. 4 Urban Renewal LLC, an urban renewal entity, pursuant to the long-term tax exemption law, New Jersey statutes annotated 40A:20-1 et sec. 3J, City Ordinance 14112 is an ordinance approving a 5-year tax exemption pursuant to the provisions of NJSA 40A:21-1 et sec and Section 304-12 of the Municipal Code for property designated as Block 12704, Lot 28.01 on the city's tax map and more commonly known by the street address of 532 Jersey Avenue. 3K is City Ordinance 14113 is an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332 Vehicles and Traffic, Article 3 Parking, Standing and Stopping, and Article 9 Parking for the Disabled of the Jersey City Code, designating a reserved parking space at 25 Carlton Avenue, 13 Irving Street, 118 Manhattan Avenue, 19 McDougal Street, 29.5 Sherman Place, 133 Thorn Street, 331 York Street, and 4 Wilkinson Avenue, and repealing the reserved parking space at 113 Colden Street, 121 Manhattan Avenue, and 55 Wegman Parkway. 3L, City Ordinance 14114, an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 3, Parking, Standing, and Stopping of the Jersey City Code, amending Section 332-24, no parking certain hours, designating both sides of Newark Avenue from Erie Street to Grove Street, 3 p.m. to midnight, Monday through Thursday, and 3 p.m. Friday through midnight Sunday is no parking. 3M is an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Traffic Regulations, amending Section 332, One-Way Streets of the Jersey City Code, repealing Barrow Street as a one-way south from Columbus Avenue, from Newark Avenue to Columbus Avenue, excuse me. 3N is City Ordinance 14116. It's an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Traffic Regulations, Section 332-9, stop intersections of the Jersey City Code, repealing the intersections of Barrow Street and York Street, Cole Street and 7th Street, 8th Street and Brunswick Street, 8th Street and Monmouth Street, 1st Street and Erie Street, Jersey Avenue and 8th Street, Jersey Avenue and 9th Street, Monmouth Street and 7th Street, Morgan Street and Warren Street, Morris Street and Washington Street, 9th Street and Brunswick Street, Pavonia Avenue and Brunswick Street, 2nd Street and Brunswick Street, Sussex Street and Washington Street, 10th Street and Jersey Avenue, West Hamilton Place and 9th Street, and York Street and Jersey Avenue as a stop intersection, designating the intersection of Erie Street and Pavonia Avenue as a stop intersection, and designating the intersections of Barrow Street and York Street, Brunswick Street and 2nd Street, Brunswick Street and 8th Street, Brunswick Street and 9th Street, Brunswick Street and Pavonia Avenue, Cole Street and 7th Street, Division Street and 8th Street, 8th Street and Monmouth Street, 8th Street and Jersey Avenue, 8th Street and McWilliams Place, Erie Street and 1st Street, Jersey Avenue and York Street, Jersey Avenue and 9th Street, Jersey Avenue and 10th Street, Monmouth Street and 7th Street, Morgan Street and Warren Street, Morris Street and Washington Street, 9th Street and West Hamilton Place, Sussex Street and Washington Street as a multi-way stop intersection. 3O is City Ordinance 14117. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 3, Administration of Government, Article 11, Department of Public Safety, Subarticle 2, Division of Fire and Emergency Services, Article 17, Fire Safety Manager, and Chapter 160 Fees of the Jersey City Municipal Code. 3P is City Ordinance 14118, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 3 Administration of Government, Article 18, Fire Safety Manager, mandating the use of a fire safety manager in the City of Jersey City for high-rise buildings. 3Q is City Ordinance 14119. It's an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Traffic Regulations, amending Section 332-5, One-Way Streets of the Jersey City Code, repealing Barrow Street as a one-way south from Newark Avenue to Columbus Drive. If you'd like me to reread that, 3A through 3Q, noting, council members, that D has been withdrawn.
D?
D as in David.
D. Thought it was E.
On the motion, for introduction of 3A through 3Q, accepting D withdrawn, Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Abstain on 3A, and aye on the rest.
Councilman Bajano.
And on 3H also, and
3A.
H.
H?
A,
A.
not H.
Okay. And aye on the rest?
Yes.
Councilperson Yun.
I say aye, but 3O, Ordinance 14117, Arson Investigation Unit to right to carry the firearms, but they didn't mention anything about the training for that Arson Investigation Unit. So I'm going to say aye, but next meeting, I'd like the Public Safety Director to come to a Council caucus meeting to what kind of training they're going to provide for Arson Investigation Unit to carry the firearms.
They have to go through a regular police academy, the same
gonna
as
do
a
that?
police officer.
Okay. Yes, not on here, but they're required, right?
Yes.
Fully trained, the same as a regular police officer is.
Good, thank you. Then I say, well, aye.
Councilperson Osborne.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Coleman.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Waterman. Aye for introduction. Council President.
Aye for introduction.
A has been introduced. 7-0, 2 abstentions by Councilpersons Ramchal and Bojano. B and C, 9-0. D was withdrawn. And E through Q, introduced 9-0. We're to second reading ordinances, council members.
Robert, before we proceed, Mr. Joe Scott is here to share some information about 9/11. So tomorrow, everyone, it's anniversary of September 11th, and Mr. Scott.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to invite you to a program that we're having tomorrow at the Medical Center. As you know, we're recognizing September 11th tomorrow, and we would like to help prepare the community for any type of future emergency that might occur. So we have planned and are doing something positive in addition to honoring the anniversary of this terrible event. Following the city's memorial service, we'll host a series of workshops for the people who live and work in our community to prepare them for the possibility of any future natural or man-made disaster, or even a family emergency. While we may not be able to predict an emergency, proper planning and preparation can often make a difference. And should one occur, join me between 1:30 and 2:30 tomorrow, and 7 and 8 o'clock at the Medical Center. The sessions are free and will be visited by the hospital's EMS and emergency medicine staff and the American College of Emergency Physicians. This is an opportunity for us to really begin to look at and plan for any type of disaster in our community. As you know, we live in one of the most dangerous 9 miles in America, so anything we can do to prepare our community for the future is something that we want to be actually part of in our community. So I hope that you'll have an opportunity to stop by tomorrow between 1:30 and 2:30 or in the evening time. I also wanted to update you on some of our progress with Barnabas Health. You all know that we merged with Barnabas Health in June. It's the largest healthcare system in the state. One of the first things we did through our merger process was to hire a company called Kurt Solomon Associates. Kurt Solomon Associates does healthcare planning.
Scott, I'm sorry.
Yes.
If we just keep it at the 9/11 information, that'd be great.
Sure. Okay.
Appreciate it.
But I hope I'll have an opportunity to talk to you about some of the future expansions
Sure.
at the medical center, because I think that is very, very exciting, and will meet the future needs of Jersey City as we move forward. Thanks.
I have a
Thank you.
question, Mr. Scott. You say this is tomorrow at 1:30, and we enter through the main entrance, or is
Yes, so if you come through the main entrance, it'll be in the cafeteria at 1:30,
Okay.
And again at 7 o'clock. Okay? Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you, Robert. Yeah, I see folks fanning themselves out there, too. It's hot in there.
All right, council members, we did first reading ordinances. We have second reading ordinances. We'll do them singularly. Okay, council members, second reading ordinances, members of the public. We have item 4A. 4A is City Ordinance 14-092. It's an ordinance authorizing the amendment of Chapter 3, Administration of Government, Article 11, Department of Public Safety, Subarticle 1, Division of Police, to allow for the acceptance of credit card payments. This is a public hearing on the subject. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard?
Motion.
We have a motion by Council President, seconded by Councilman Rivera. To close the public hearing, Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajano.
Aye.
Yun.
Aye.
Osborne. Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Aye. Council President.
Aye.
Close the public hearing, 9-0. Consider final adoption of City Ordinance 14-092. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajano. Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Council President.
Just quickly, this is an ordinance that allows for credit card payments for the payment of off-duty police officers, just small steps in Jersey City modernizing and getting up to speed. I vote aye.
Thank you. We have a 9-0 vote for the final adoption of item 4A, City Ordinance 14-092. Item 4B, City Ordinance 14-093, an ordinance renaming the new West District Police Facility the Detective Melvin Vincent Santiago Police Facility. It's a public hearing on the ordinance. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard?
Yes. Good evening. Hello, everyone. My name is Talisa Dowling. For those that don't know me and those that do, hello, I'm a new grandma. I read this in the newspaper about the detective that was slain. He was murdered. I know that when we name buildings, we're supposed to be naming buildings in our city for a legacy that's going to outlive most of us in this room. I understand the officer that died, and I feel sorry for him and his family. I was also an officer, and I ran the PVA Local 109 as the president. And I know I took good officers' money to represent those that wasn't the greatest on our law enforcement. But tonight, I really think that I would like for you guys to reconsider putting his name on that building and think about Glenn Cunningham as a candidate. And there's other great people that have died in our city that we have not given the opportunity to be honored. I know that the heat is in the passion and everybody's still feeling this. We're still seeing about the officers being slain in the newspaper. But I'm asking you guys to take it under consideration that this building is going to outlive us, and we got to tell our grandchildren why this building is named after someone. Now, I know it's a law enforcement building. That's why I was thinking about Glenn Cunningham, him being the first African-American U.S. Marshal in the state of New Jersey and a former Jersey City police detective. It's not about color, because Officer Santiago was wearing blue. We all stand together when it's in blue. But it's just the idea that we have not honored Glenn after his death. Now, we do have a library, but that library was named while he was still living. We have not done anything to honor him after his death. So I'm asking you once again, as the public, I'm just an individual that wore that uniform and understand the risk that we take and the oath that we take to protect our community, to reconsider putting his name, because that's not the legacy that I want to tell my granddaughter about, that this young man was just new to the force, just coming out to do his job, and he was slain because there's hostile feelings in the community, and very little has been done to heal those wounds that are still bleeding in our community. So that's what I have to say about that.
I think after we take the vote. Robert?
Yes, this is a public hearing. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilperson Coleman, seconded by Councilperson Ramchal.
Before we take the vote, I just want to acknowledge that the family for Detective Melvin Santiago is here, and so after we take the vote, we'll have them say a few words. After the vote.
Okay. All right, well, we have a motion to close the public hearing. Councilperson Gajewski?
Aye.
Ramchal?
Aye.
Bajano?
Aye.
Yun?
Aye.
Osborne?
Aye.
Coleman?
Aye.
Rivera?
Aye.
Waterman? Aye. Lavaro?
Aye.
We've closed the public hearing 9-0. For the final adoption of City Ordinance 14093, Item 4B, Councilperson Gajewski.
After.
You know, when I was looking down just now at this ordinance, I noticed it said that Melvin was born on the 28th of June, 1991. And I've always, around my birthday, looked in the newspapers to see what other notable people were born on my birthday. And a few of them, like John Elway, he was a quarterback in the Super Bowl, Mel Brooks, Pat Morita, Kathy Bates. And now I realize that I have another notable person that was born on the same day I was born, Melvin Santiago. Melvin, I mean, there's no way of getting around it. In July, he was assassinated. He was killed because he was a police officer. Somebody was lying in wait, and when he came there, shot him and killed him. Now, when I think about it in my lifetime, there were a number of very important people, prominent people that were assassinated. And I'm not going to compare Melvin to any of them because I don't want anybody saying that that's what I'm doing. But those people were killed for either the office they held or the beliefs that they held or a number of other reasons. And they made a mark on history. And that's what we're missing here. We have a young man who was just starting out, whose entire life and his history was taken away. We're never going to know how far Melvin would have went in the police department, whether he would have became a sergeant, a lieutenant, maybe the captain commanding the West District, possibly even the chief of police. And we're never going to know all those lives that he would have touched with doing good in his career, and I'm sure he would have touched a lot of lives. We're just never going to know. So I think what was stolen was the history of what Melvin would have been. And that's the most insidious thing that happened on that night. And I think I would much rather be seeing Melvin running, trying to catch up and running to the roll call in the West District when it opens up, rather than voting on this ordinance tonight. But I don't have a choice. I vote aye.
Person Ramchow? Councilperson Ramchow.
Yes, Robert. It's a very, very intense moment. I just want to say that if you listen to the mayor when he spoke at the funeral, there's one thing that Melvin always dreamed of becoming a cop and working in the West Precinct like his uncle. When Melvin got shot, he got shot in my ward. I was there with Kathy at the house. It's a very, very intense moment right now, but I vote aye.
Councilperson Bajano?
Randy, having spent 36 years with you in the police department, I got to say you said it perfectly, and it's very well said. I vote aye.
Councilperson Yun?
Aye.
Councilperson Osborne?
No one has greater love than this, than one that lay down his life for his friends. And Melvin was a friend to all of us, and he showed his courage, and it is the least we can do to remember him in this way. We are your friends, and I vote aye.
Councilperson Coleman?
I don't think it could have been said any better than my colleague, Councilman Gajewski said. Melvin is dear in our minds right now because we all suffered through that time that he got shot. And initially, I had a different feeling about this because I don't feel that that I was consulted as a Ward F council person regarding this dedication. However, the importance is I've jumped past that now, and we still remember Melvin because it wasn't that long ago. And our goal is to have one Jersey City, and we have a Martin Luther King annex coming on at the hub, and I see it so fitting to have Melvin Santiago Police Facility and dedicate that to one of our young heroes here in Jersey City. So with that, I thank the council, corporate, and administration for helping me get past that Ward F council person stuff. And I send my love and everything out to his family. And this is a police station that it just so happens that it got finished at just the right time so that we can walk past and still remember Melvin Santiago. We don't have to wait 50 years from now like we had to wait for Martin Luther King and other prominent people, John F. Kennedy Boulevard, and we don't have to wait all of those years, and we can remember and have touched or been close to the person that that building is dedicated to. So with that, I say thank you, Danny Rivera, for bringing that to Ward F, and I say aye.
Councilperson Rivera?
Just like all of the colleagues here, you know, this was real tough losing Melvin the way we lost him. Kathy McBride, I want to thank you for Melvin. I want to thank my colleagues for doing this. You know, it's being a council person, you know, this was like the first big impact that I went through as an elected official. Actually arrived at the hospital at 4:41 in the morning, minutes after, you know, Melvin was killed. And it was a lot, you know, to gather in my brain. And it was a lot of mixed feelings, but one thing I did realize that Melvin, from the day he was born, from growing up as a youth, His dream was to be a police officer in the West District. And I love it when youth, when kids, after being around them for 25 years, coaching them, I love it when they set a goal in their life and they go for it and they accomplish that goal and they stay focused. That's extremely commendable when someone can do that. For him to lose his life the way he did, like Councilman Frank Kajewski said, we would never know where Melvin would have gone in the police department. We just know that he paid the ultimate price and gave up his life, not just for the people in Ward F, for the people of Jersey City, and for his brothers and sisters in blue. So with that, I say aye.
Councilperson Waterman?
There's so much to be said. When the situation happened, I was at the hospital and I saw Melvin that night. And he's a young lad. He reminded me of my son because I have a son around that age. And he had everything to live for. And one thing I do admire about people who always make a decision to put their life on the line each day. And the least we can do is really name something after them. So we can remember that it was their choice that they made to lay their life on the line for my safety, for your safety, for our children's safety. And so my heart still go out to his mother and his brother and his father, the rest of his family. And so with that, I vote aye. And I pray that somehow that as you see Melvin named throughout the city, that you will remember that he still lives on every time you see it. God bless you. I vote aye.
Council President?
I think all my colleagues have said it very eloquently. And I'm going to commend Councilman Danny Rivera for bringing this forward. And our hearts and prayers go out to Mr. and Mrs. McBride and the entire family, because I know the loss, I'm sure, still hurts. And I think the only thing I'll add is that for generations to come, for my daughter and granddaughter, as they walk down the street, walk down past that West District, I'll be proud to tell them the story of the life and heroism of Melvin Santiago. And I'm very comfortable with the idea that, and think this is a very fitting tribute to a life well lived. So I vote aye.
We have a 9-0 vote for the final adoption of Item 4B, City Ordinance 14093.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can we bring up Mr. and Mrs. McBride? Mrs. McBride?
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for putting it through. It's so fresh in my mind. It's only been a month and a half. And Melvin was a good kid, and he loved going to work every day, and the only thing he wanted to do was come home that night. He just wanted to make it home, and he didn't. So I don't ever want him to be forgotten. I'll make sure I spend the rest of my life keeping his name out there, and the police center is a way to do that, and I appreciate that. And thank you for all your support. Thank you.
Council members, members of the public, we're on to item 4C, City Ordinance 14094, an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 3, Parking, Standing, and Stopping, amending Section 332-22, parking prohibited at all times of the Jersey City Code, designating no parking anytime in front of Valaris, 330 9th Street. It's a public hearing on the ordinance. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard?
Second.
Council
Candace.
President was louder. I'll give him the motion. Second to Councilwoman Coleman to close the public hearing. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal? Ramchal?
He stepped away.
Bajano? Yun?
Aye.
Osborne? Aye. Coleman?
Aye.
Rivera? Waterman? Council President?
Aye.
Public hearing is closed 7-0. For final adoption of item 4C, City Ordinance 14094. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramchal.
Still away.
Councilman Bajano. Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera. Still out of the room. Waterman. Lavaro.
Yeah, just unrelated to this ordinance, but Alaris, they need to get to the table and get a contract for their workers over there. I vote aye.
I'm sorry, Council President. You voted aye?
I vote aye.
Okay, we're missing Council members Ramchal and Rivera. We have a 7-0 vote right now. There's a resolution, a companion resolution, waiving the 20 days on this, Council members. All right, we're on to item 4D, City Ordinance 14095. It's an ordinance supplementing Chapter 332, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 3, Parking, Standing, and Stopping, and Article 9, Parking for the Disabled of the Jersey City Code, designating a reserved parking space at 310-308 Academy Street, 177 Bartholdi Avenue, 131-133 Boyd Avenue, 413 Cater Avenue, 71 Clark Avenue, 60 Clendenny Avenue, 196 Clendenny Avenue, 225 Columbia Avenue, 102 Ferry Street, 248 4th Street, 66 Gautier Avenue, 84 Harmon Street, 7472 Linden Avenue, 19 Madison Avenue, 281 Monmouth Street, 113 Nelson Avenue, 257 Randolph Avenue, 364 Randolph Avenue, and 116 Terrace Avenue, and amending the reserved parking space at 330, 323, 325 Pacific Avenue. It's the public hearing on the ordinance. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard?
Motion. Second.
We have a motion by Councilperson Osborne, seconded by the Council President. To close the public hearing, Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Still away.
Bajano. Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Still away.
Waterman. Council President.
Aye.
Thank you. Public hearing is closed. 7-0. For final adoption of City Ordinance 14095, item 4D. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal is absent. Council Person Bojano?
Aye.
Yun?
Aye.
Osborne? Coleman?
Aye.
Rivera?
Still away?
Waterman?
Aye.
Aye.
And Council President, I have your eye. Let me just do a little repair here. Okay, 7-0 vote right now for the adoption of that ordinance. When the gentlemen come back into the room, we'll get their final votes. 3E, City Ordinance 14096 is an ordinance to make a technical amendment to the city's paid sick leave ordinance to correct typographical errors in sections 3-52B, 30, 7, 8, and 10. It's a public hearing on the ordinance. Is there anyone wishing to be heard?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by the council president, seconded by, that is the air conditioning, by Councilperson Coleman. To close the public hearing, Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Absent. He's away.
Bajano.
Aye.
Yun.
Aye.
Aye.
Osborne. Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Lavaro.
Aye.
We have an 8-0 vote to close the public hearing for the final adoption of 4E, City Ordinance 14096. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal is
Away.
still out of the room. Councilperson Bajano. Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Lavaro.
Aye.
We have an 8-0 vote. Councilman, we'll catch you up when Councilman Ramchal comes back in the room. We'll catch you up together, okay? 4F, City Ordinance 14097.
He's here.
All right, good. I'd like to catch us up. That would be good. And then I'll put glue in your chairs, and we'll have a quicker night. Council members Ramchal and Rivera, you missed votes. The final adopted vote, well, Councilman Ramchal on 4C for the no parking in front of 330 9th Street.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
Final adopted vote for item 4C, City Ordinance 14094, is 9-0. 4D, City Ordinance 14095, parking for the disabled. Councilperson Ramchal.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
Adopted vote is 9-0 for City Ordinance 14095, item 4D. 4E, Councilman Ramchal, you were out of the room for the adoption of the item 4E 14096.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Thank you. So that we have a 9-0 vote on that item as well. That's item 4E is 9-0, City Ordinance 14096. 4F, City Ordinance 14097 is an ordinance of the Municipal Council of the City of Jersey City adopting amendments to the Journal Square 2060 redevelopment plan.
Yvonne Walter, could you explain the amendments to this plan, please?
This expands the Journal Square 2060 redevelopment plan, incorporates the SIP Van Wagenen redevelopment plan into
One redevelopment plan. How many redevelopment plans do we have in that particular area, in that particular row there? How many redevelopment plans? Because what I look at and see is nothing but redevelopment plans over and over again, which means they don't have to follow zoning, which makes life hard for people who live any place.
But having someone, basically, if that's being incorporated, how many redevelopment plans do we have incorporated in that one particular area? Because it seems, if you want big redevelopment in your place, you have overlapping redevelopment plans, then you have chaos.
Do we have a planning representative here? Leave.
Testing.
You just left.
I don't know the answer as to how many other redevelopment plans are in the area.
Sorry, the planner did just leave, but you can follow up with the planning department. No problem tomorrow. If you need a number, I'll give it to you.
I will email you then. Thank you very much.
I don't think this is going to do it. Hang on a second. Testing. Got it. Thank you. Okay, we had Yvonne Balser speak. Is there anyone else wishing to be heard with regard to this ordinance?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Council President Lavaro, seconded by Councilperson Coleman. Close the public hearing. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajiano. Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Lavaro.
Aye.
We have a 9-0 vote to close the public hearing, to consider the final adoption of City Ordinance 14097, Item 4F. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajiano.
I'm going to say no because after speaking to some of the people in the area, they're a little concerned about this.
Councilperson Yun.
Aye.
You voted aye.
Yes.
Councilperson Osborne.
Aye.
Councilperson Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Aye. Council President.
Aye.
We have an 8-1 vote. Councilperson Bajiano voting no. For the final adoption of City Ordinance 14097, Item 4F. 4G, City Ordinance 14098, is an ordinance authorizing the City of Jersey City to execute a 6-month lease agreement with 3000 Kennedy Boulevard, LLC, for the use of 27 parking spaces at 3000 John F. Kennedy Boulevard to be used for Journal Square employee parking. This is a public hearing on the ordinance. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard?
Jason Berg. Question, what department will be using the 27 spaces for 6 months, for the record?
Sorry, repeat your question?
Your question, for the 6 months lease agreement for these 27 parking spaces, what department will be utilizing those spaces at 3000 Kennedy Boulevard?
These are the civilian employees in the police headquarters at Journal Square, in the Information Technology Division, the Accounting and Counseling Control Division, Payroll Division, and Pension Division.
Okay. Now, this off record, or we just built a communication center down near
Bishop Street.
Yeah, that's
correct.
Division Street.
You wouldn't want to walk it in the winter.
No, I wouldn't want to walk that either. No, I'm just saying I would think that more of our policies or people would be being that for the police department. That's my question.
Well, it's just the police headquarters is currently located at Journal Square on the 4th floor.
Right.
The spaces that we're talking about are strictly for the civilian staff assigned to that office. These are spaces that are we've been asked These are spaces we're already providing at Central Parking Garage, and we've been asked by Central to, they're canceling our lease at the end of the month. So these are just replacing spaces that we already have.
Okay. And another, when will the City of Jersey City be finding another spot for its police department? Because, I mean, you go up there, General Square?
Ordinance.
I'm just saying, this is a question. I'll ask that at my 5-minute speech. Thank you. Thank you.
This is a public hearing on the ordinance. Anyone wishing to be heard?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Council President, seconded by Councilperson Coleman. Closed the public hearing. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajano. Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Lavara.
Aye.
We have a 9-0 vote for the close of the public hearing for final adoption of City Ordinance 14098. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Councilperson Ramchal.
Aye.
Said aye.
Councilperson Bajano. Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman.
Aye.
Council President.
Aye.
We have a 9-0 vote for the final adoption of item 4G, City Ordinance 14098. Item 4H we tabled earlier. On to item 4I. 4I is City Ordinance 14100. It's an ordinance vacating a portion of Bramhall Avenue consisting of approximately 3,000 square feet for development of Berry Lane Park. This is a public hearing on the ordinance. Are there any members of the public wishing to be heard?
Jason Berg, for the record. The vacating of this property is up. That's for the purpose of the new lane, but what will the 3,000 square feet be used for? Who will be using that 3,000 square feet?
It's for the park itself. 3,000 square feet is a very small piece of property. That's slightly larger than a standard building lot in Jersey City.
All right, thank you very much. So that's adding more to our property, and we'll also be looking for more funds for that park, I would presume, and another venue. There was something with the getting more monies to get that park up to par.
Sorry, is there...
The question is that when, with all this property being...
You don't have to get that.
It was all part of the original budget, Mr. Berg.
Excuse me?
It's all part of the original budget, so it won't be additional monies. It was all part of the original plan. This space is part of the original plan.
All right, thank you very much.
Public hearing. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Hi, yes, my name is Ruthie Butler. I am a homeowner.
Get your name. Come a little closer.
It's Ruthie Butler. Ruthie Butler.
Ruthie Butler.
Yes.
Okay, you got to go a little over towards the mic. There you go,
Okay.
Ruthie.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you better now.
Okay, all right then. I am a homeowner in that area of the Berry Lane Park. I've been a homeowner there for, come November the 10th will be 18 years. And I would like to know exactly which part of the 3,000 square feet are you plan on extending that park? Because on one side of the street, there's residential homes, and on the other side of the street is just a park. Are we talking just that area, one side, or...
The homes are being taken. This is, the business administrator is going to show you the map, but no homes are being taken.
Okay, thank you.
This little section right here.
Okay.
All right. Here's Bramhall.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Butler. Is there anyone else wishing to be heard?
Motion.
Second.
By Council President, seconded by Councilperson Coleman to close. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajano. Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Lavara.
Aye.
We have a 9-0 vote to close the public hearing for the final adoption of City Ordinance 14-100, item 4I, Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Baggiano. Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Lavaro.
Aye.
We have a 9-0 vote for the final adoption of City Ordinance 14-100. Item 4I. 4J is City Ordinance 14-101. It's an ordinance approving a 10-year tax exemption for a mixed-use, market-rate residential rental project to be constructed by LHN, which stands for Liberty Harbor North Urban Renewal, Owner Urban Renewal, LLC, an urban renewal entity pursuant to the long-term tax exemption law, New Jersey statutes annotated 48:20-1 et sec. This is a public hearing. Mrs. Balser.
Yes. Just let me remind this council, this is the type of abatement that Councilman Phillip always rejected and voted no. But that's not why I'm here. I would like to know, what would they pay if they did not receive an abatement? I actually want that for this particular one and the next ordinance. Now, I know you're going to tell me, well, the land is not paying taxes and it's paying a low amount of money. Well, that's because the mayor has decided to hold back the reval, so the land taxes looks like 1988. That's why it's low. So I don't want to hear that right now. I would like to know, what would they pay if they, like so many other people I know, they get hit when they bought a house in Jersey City, what would they pay without this abatement? I'd like to know that, and for the next one too. I don't even have to come up for that. You can tell me both of them.
Can you share the service charge versus conventional table, which is page 1, 2, 3, 4, page 5, the back of page 5.
$31 billion.
I just want to say also that in that particular area which floods so much, the city should be discouraging development. I remember Sandy, I remember that particular area. Instead of giving out abatement, we should be discouraging and leave it open so it absorbs some of the rain and the water. To reward someone to develop in an area that floods, to me, is foolish. That's all I have to say about that.
We have the attorney, Jim McCann, here. Jim, you want to get up and give a quick answer? Okay.
$2.9 million?
Year one comparative would be, it looks like 2.9 million. On conventional, the city portion of that is 1.484 million. A year.
Yeah.
Whereas our service charge is 1.559. So the city nets out a benefit of about $120,000.
And I like to pay the County Board of Ed taxes, so, but that's not the, I want to, I would love not to, I want the same deal. I want the same deal and not pay County Board of Ed taxes at all. I mean, what am I, chopped liver?
I don't know if that's on the ordinance. I don't think it is on the ordinance.
So, you can tell me the other one, though. I'd hate to come up again. That's all I want to know. What would they pay if they did not have that abatement?
Sure, you can come and see us, and we'll go through it with you if you
Well,
want.
then I have to come back for the second one. I hate to come up twice. I hate to make a nuisance of myself.
They're done one at a time, Yvonne.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me. Please keep the side chatter to a minimum.
This is a public hearing on item 4J. Jason?
Jason Berg, for the record, Where is this building being established?
Liberty Harbor North.
What was that, Liberty Harbor? 33 Park Avenue. Okay, thank you very much.
Public hearing on the ordinance. Anyone else?
My name is Judith Amanda Merlino. I'm from
Judith, your last name?
Merlino, like Merlin the Wizard with an O at the end.
Merlino?
Yes, sir.
Merlino.
Yes. That seems like a lot of money when you take $1.8 million and multiply it by 10. But I understand that if the area is going to be constantly flooded, it wouldn't be worth the city to redevelop it. Let somebody else do it. But that still seems like a lot of money and a tax abatement. The information that you're asking, I apologize, I forgot your name, for us to come back and look at, that should be available for us. We shouldn't have to come back. Excuse me?
It's advertised in a newspaper and it's online.
Okay, well, I didn't know it was available online, and I'm sure a lot of people here don't, because don't forget, we don't work for the city. So we're not sure what we can get online, but telling somebody to come back, it's,
No, for
you know, for a figure, I think things like this you should all know.
We asked her to come back. She was asking a question about the next ordinance. We deal with.
Oh, okay, no, you're absolutely right. Absolutely. Now, I don't even know where where is Liberty Harbor? Do I need to go on a tour of Jersey City now or something? Where is Liberty Harbor?
Walk out the back of City Hall, walk towards the Statue of
That's Liberty Harbor now? Okay.
Walk towards the Statue of Liberty.
Are we talking about the section that used to be part of the wildlife reserve? Okay, this is something different? Okay. Then I'm going to find out about this. I guess we're going to have tours of Jersey City. Because I'm originally from 96 Wayne Street, you know, back in the 60s, and this was all, you know, Italians were here and... Right, when it was old, and now everything's pretty much changed. So I guess we're all going to have to take a tour on a bus to Jersey City. Now, I live up in the Heights. Thank you. So we're all going to have to...
All right. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Motion.
Oh, second.
We have a motion by Council President. Please. Seconded by Councilperson Coleman. Councilperson Gajewski to close.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajana.
Aye.
Yun.
Aye.
Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Lavaro.
Aye.
We have a 9-0 vote.
Robert, before you cast a vote, Councilman Ramchal has a question. Oh, okay. He'd like me to ask his question, which is there a project labor agreement?
Oh, come on.
Jeremy,
Is there?
Jeremy,
is there a PLA? Is there a
is there a
PLA?
PLA on this?
Is
There
there
a project
PLA?
labor agreement?
With this ordinance.
Is there a project agreement? Yes. If it's above the threshold, there's an
The
agreement.
answer is yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes. For final adoption, Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajano.
I just want to say something. The first time this came around, I voted for it. But there's Park Street, Park Avenue, Park Place in Jersey City. And if you remember a while back, we had a big incident here with 2 streets named the same. When I first read this and I voted for it the last time, I thought it was another area. I say 10 years for this area here, when the New York Times says that Brooklyn and Jersey City are the hottest real estate markets in the country, I don't think they need a 10-year abatement. I'd say 5 years would be more than sufficient for this project. Vote no, Bob. I also suggest that something be done about changing the name of these streets. We cannot have 3 streets named the same, basically, because someday it's going to cause massive confusion.
Councilperson Yun.
this project, over the 10 years, they're supposed to pay conventional tax $31.8 million, and with tax abatement, they only pay $17.3 million. In other words, they save $14.5 million. And also, they save the land tax $1.8 million. And meantime, it's a tier 1, only 5 years, but they get by an extra 5 more years. Just the way they save is really a lot, too much. I both say no.
Councilperson Osborne.
To be clear for the folks in the audience, the city does make it's a little bit more complicated than has been said to you. The city does make more money on these abatements. I do share concerns, different concerns. I think the abatements are largely a good thing. I think we've done a good job in terms of the abatement policy towards skewing them the right way to where we want to create incentives for development. My personal contention here, and it's been one I've voiced a couple of times, is that we don't have a clear plan around what we're doing with the buy-up money, and I'd like to see a real clear, solid plan for that. And so for that reason, I'm going to vote no.
Councilperson Coleman.
This is real sticky for me because I believe in new development in Jersey City, because the new tax abatement process allows for 51% of minorities and Jersey City residents to work on these projects, and that is monitored by our monitoring area here in Jersey City and the Jersey City Employment and Training Program. So I believe in tax abatements for more than one reason. For one reason, it's going to produce new housing and new development in Jersey City, and the other reason, it's going to provide jobs for Jersey City residents who are unemployed or underemployed at this time. And I'm going to put my money in the pocket that the legal department and the tax abatement department is following the process that we all approved in the beginning, and with that, I have to vote aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Vote aye.
You vote? Councilperson Waterman.
I vote aye.
Council President.
I agree with Councilman Osborne. There's been some confusion about the buy-up policy and kind of the appropriation and of those funds and where it would go. I mean, the benefits, though, outweigh the benefits of the city of Jersey City outweigh the cost of the abatement in the sense that $17.3 million, I believe, is what Councilman Yoon said, and under conventional taxes, they'd be receiving $16.25 million. So about $1 million more over 10 years. We've always talked about the idea that almost all development is entitled to a 5-year development. The buy-up basically provides a slightly more incentive for the city in this sense, and then plus the 1.5% construction cost, which I think is possibly a little too low, but in the whole of it, it overall benefits the city. So I'll vote aye.
Finally adopted 6-3. Council members Bagiano, Yun, and Osborne, no. City Ordinance 14-101, item 4J. Our last second reading ordinance this evening is item 4K. It's City Ordinance 14-14.102. It's an ordinance approving a 10-year tax exemption for a market rate residential condominium project to be constructed by 68 Erie Street Urban Renewal Company, LLC, an urban renewal entity, pursuant to the long-term tax exemption law, New Jersey statutes, annotated 40A:20-1 et sec.
Yvonne Boss. I'm here for the same question. I want to thank, actually, Michael Young for giving me the information I really wanted to ask. What will they pay conventionally? And I also want to say one thing, which perhaps I'm not making clear enough. Every abatement is not a rateable. Just because it's not a rateable, it makes my taxes go up. It is an agreement. So when the county strikes the budget, they don't see this abatement as rateable, so my taxes go up. And almost a third of this city is abated. So therefore, my taxes being like the $75 range, it is higher because of the abatements. So it makes my taxes go up. But that's another issue. I want to ask the business administrator or you, what will they pay during the term of this and the difference between the two of them?
So conventional on this is $165,000 a year, and the service charge is $88,000 a year.
What about within the 10 years?
So if you did it over the course of the 10 years, then you're at that point you're guessing because you don't really know what the conventional is going to be after the first couple of years, depending on what rents do. It could go up or down, but our best estimate would be $1.7 million.
$1,070,000
versus $900,000.
$900,000. Thank you very much.
What was that, 900,000 for what?
It's actually a little more than 900,000 versus
This
$1 million.
is a public hearing. Anyone else?
It's almost $1 million in revenues.
Jason Berg, for the record, is this a total new construction or is this a renovation of a building that's already there?
New construction.
New construction. How many units will be there for the city, Jersey City? 12 units.
12 units. Yeah.
And will there be off-street parking for those units?
No on-site parking.
What I'm saying is, will it be parking for those 12 units inside the building unit?
No. So there'll be street parking.
Excuse me, I can't hear. I'm a little deaf.
No, there is no parking provided. It's on-street parking.
Oh, great.
Get that?
And now I hear it. Now that this adds more challenges to the people down in that area because Erie Street is very difficult to find parking. This adding more congestion. A point of information.
I would just like to point out that type of questioning belongs at the planning board when they're doing the site plan approval. That's where they address things like parking, on-site, off-site, and those types of things. This is just purely about the abatement.
All right, it's just approving it, but the real thing is it needs to be in one bundle rather than piecemeal. You eat better at a buffet than that. All right. Now, thank you very much on that. And so how much, all right, the units, so how much it will be abated for those 10 years, for those 10 units? And will they be mixed, or is it going to be outrageous? Outrageous? Market rate?
It's market rate condominiums. Is that what you mean, the rents?
So there'll be no rents. It's market value because it's a condominium.
No, this is a rental building, I believe. Is it condo? It's condo.
It's rental condominiums.
Yeah, it's condo. Yeah, sorry.
So someone's going to buy it and rent it and use it as an investment. Well, that would be my understanding of a residential condominium.
I have no idea what they're going to do. They'll be offered for sale.
Offered for sale. Thank you very much.
I have copies of. My name is
identify yourself for the
My name
record.
is Michael McCreesh. MC, capital C-R-E-E-S-H. I live at 72 Erie Street.
Spell the last name again.
MC, capital C-R-E-E-S-H.
R-E-E-S-H. S-H.
Correct.
McCreesh.
Correct.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. I'm trying to compose myself. This plan was done, and the Historic Preservation Commission sees it to be fit to not notify anybody within 200 feet of what they're doing. Okay? I converted an apartment years ago an apartment. They put me through a ringer, and I had to notify people. They think they're above the law. I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to give you copies of this. I spoke to my lawyer already. You can all have copies, and I'm going to leave. You guys, I'll be late today.
Thank you.
It's a travesty of justice. It's a disgrace. Period. Goodbye.
Public hearing. It's a public hearing. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilperson Rivera, seconded by Councilperson Coleman to close the public hearing. Councilperson Gajewski. Ramchal. Did you say aye? Aye. Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajano.
They said
To
before.
close.
Aye.
Yun. Aye. Osborne.
Aye.
Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Lavara.
Aye.
We have a 9-0 vote for the close of the public hearing. For final adoption of item 14, ordinance 14-102, item 4K, Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajano.
As I said before, Brooklyn and Jersey City, the hottest markets, and I was under the impression that most of downtown was going to be 5-year abatements. I vote no.
Yun.
If I cast my vote, can I ask one question from the attorney from this project? They calculate annual service charge based on their mortgage payment and maintenance, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, now, when I look
First of
at
all, identify yourself for the record.
Tom Lean, attorney for the applicant.
Last name?
Leane, Lean.
Oh my God.
That's correct.
So,
Second generation St. Joe's.
yes, based on your calculation, they will pay $88,000 per year for annual service charge, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. But now, to do that, in order to collect $88,000 a year, $724,500 condominium. Let me ask you this. If a person put down 10%, you think the rest of the 90% loan by bank, you think you're able to do that?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yes. Your calculation, annual service charge, based on mortgage payment and maintenance.
Yes.
But this calculation is a mortgage payment based on 10% down.
That's correct.
Okay, now, $724,000 condominium, I interest to buy. If I 10% down, you think I'm able to get the loan 90% of balance?
Are you asking if they need to complete the payment of the mortgage in order to get the full service charge?
Yes.
No, the service charge is it's a payment in lieu of the taxes that would normally be paid. So it's the owner of the unit who would be paying the taxes at the time.
And it's based on 100% of the purchase price. The down payment has no impact on the
Not on
service.
that, right?
That's correct.
I see. I vote no.
Councilperson Osborne.
Unlike the other that included a buy-up provision from a 5-year to a 10-year, this is within the 10-year zone. The 10-year.
We didn't hear you.
I apologize. I'm sick. Sorry, guys. Unlike the previous abatement, this abatement falls within the 10-year zone, not within the 5-year zone. So this is not a buy-up, and for that reason, I'll vote aye.
Councilperson Coleman.
Aye.
Councilperson Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Aye. Council President.
Aye.
We have a 7-2 vote for the final adoption of City Ordinance 14-102, item 4K. Voting no, Council Members Boggiano and Yun. Council members, we're to the speakers list. Laverne Washington.
Good evening.
Evening, Laverne.
I couldn't get up quick enough to thank you for what you've done, Councilman Coleman, for my parking space. I appreciate it. May God continue to bless you. And this summer, I'd like to thank the mayor and Ryan Struthers of Recreation. At the last minute, we had took a group down to Bel Air Beach with a bunch of seniors. The mayor of Bel Air said he had met our mayor of Jersey City, and they conducted a beautiful day for the seniors of Jersey City and some of the children of Ward F and different areas of Jersey City. We took a group and had a bus to go down. They laid out the red carpet for the people of Jersey City, the mayor of Bel Air, New Jersey. He stayed there with us. The time we were there, they gave balls. They didn't give us no bologna sandwiches. They gave us chicken, and they laid it out. The seniors enjoyed themselves, and the children of Jersey City that went with me and Mr. Ryan Struthers from Recreation, they enjoyed themselves. So I just wanted to say thank you. And then earlier in the month, I took a group of kids to I America. These children here, some of these are the same children that went to the beach with us. Attorney Gene O'Connell met this young man here. He's the chief of staff of Freehold, New Jersey, and this is the owner of I America right here. They took Jersey City children and they paid for these young people that I just showed you, 40 Jersey City children and 8 adults that accompanied me down there for the day. The children enjoy themselves. So if anyone knows the mayor of Freehold, this guy was the deputy mayor, and they paid for everything. And it was a beautiful day. So this is what Laverne Washington is concerned about, the children of Jersey City, and that other people would intend to get our kids out of Jersey City. I took a van load of kids to Washington in May. I was supposed to take 110 kids in August, but we wasn't able. Councilman Rivera tried to help us get a bus, but we wasn't able to get the buses to take them down there. But in the future, I hope that we can help. And then we did the back-to-school book bags I did, and it turned out nice. And then in November, I was looking for this council to help me. For 10, almost 15 years, I've been giving back brand new coats to our children from Macy's that I raised the funds for at Mount Olive Baptist Church. And again, this has been a rough year for me, so I would look for your help in November to come and participate in our community. And thank you.
Thank you. Pat O'Melia is not here. Don Wilson. Don Wilson. Alyssa Dowling.
Good evening again. My name is Talisa Dowling. I'll make it quick because we only have 5 minutes to speak, right, Mr. Burns?
Keep going.
Okay. Well, first I want to talk about public housing in Jersey City. I used to sit on the National Local Housing Coalition Board of Directors for 9 years down in Washington. I'm still an active member. We have nationally across the country, it's called RAD, Rental Assistance Development now. It's their way of trying to preserve public housing. But right now, Jersey City doesn't even have a handle on who's going to be the next director over there and what do we still own as public housing. Because with all the development that was done, there's some sites that it's only 1%. There's some places within the Jersey City Housing Authority that has not gone on to asset management, which is supposed to. And I'm concerned as an advocate from the national level what it's going to do to us locally. Because what that means now is that they're going to actually take take applications from public housings across the country to state that they can take their hard units and actually project-base them. That means taking a voucher and actually putting it to the building now. And when you're talking about mobility and tearing down public local schools or starting these charter schools that are outside of the communities, but the rental assistance is tied to the building, that's going to really handicap and disenfranchise a lot of people in this city. And also on top of that, I don't mean to talk rapidly, but I know it's a lot of information. I need to know who has a real hold on what's going on, because Jersey City has the highest homeless rate, the second highest in the state of New Jersey. And when we drive by Montgomery every day to see those units offline, what is the plan for public housing? We talk about the abatements tonight for all this development that's going on, but it does not capture the people that makes under $25,000 still struggling to live here in this city. What is your plan, this council's plan for affordable housing? And when I say affordable, I'm not talking about $1,500 rent. We got people out there struggling trying to pay $600 rent, and it's not happening. And then you have the rent control board that's not functioning properly. I personally had to deal with them here in Jersey City 2 years, and if it wasn't for me knowing a little bit and knowing how to get an attorney, I really would have got screwed even worse. That board that you have as the rent control here is pro-landlord. It's not even for the tenants. It's not even telling our investors when they come in to purchase these buildings that you have to go through a rent certification. And most of it, because we do have a rent control, they're coming in actually increasing the rent to $1,000, and we got people out there struggling to pay it, not realizing that's a tax, that's a rent control building. We need more advocacy from the city. We need more outreach from the city to let the people know, the residents know, that you have within 2 years to find out what your rent is, because if you've been paying the wrong rent, this board that you have in place is now saying you're stuck with the wrong rent when the landlord came in knowingly violating the rent control laws. I can personally tell you my experience here with this happening to me. I'm not talking about nobody else. So I need to hear from you guys what is going to happen with our extremely low-income people. And then we have also the Cornerstone program with those dollars, the HOPWA dollars, that's housing opportunity for people with AIDS, those dollars are coming out of the city. They just shut down their waiting list. So we have people that are diagnosed, and I know that program because I help administer that program. When they're getting recently diagnosed with the AIDS virus, we were there with Cornerstone to step in to pay their rent, in order to stabilize them so that they don't go out here and do risky behaviors and re-spread that virus throughout our communities. And it all comes back down to our housing. And I really need to hear that. I don't see that happening. I'm following in the newspapers, but nobody's out there. Nobody's coming to the continuing meetings to find out what is our action plan for extremely low-income people here in Jersey City.
Thank you. R.L. Williams? He's absent. John Seborowski? Not present. Yvonne? No Trip Porter here? Okay, Ms. Porter, you usually sit on the other side. Okay. You'll be up next.
First of all, I'd like to say that I don't think anyone here represents the regular homeowner who's struggling to pay taxes. I constantly hear about affordable housing, but 2,300 people are in lien. Who worries about them? So when you're talking about let's vote on something because it contributes to affordable housing, what about the people that own the 1- and 2-family homes that don't get any breaks at all? I mean, affordable housing is not affordable taxes, and we should be doing something for those people. Okay. Now I want to say also thank you very much for tabling the hub issue. I want to thank Mr. Young, Councilman Young, for what he did. But I also have another question to say. What happened to the Golden Door downtown? I understand that's empty. If that building is empty, why can't the city use the Golden Door property downtown, which has some parking? Why can't we use what we already have instead of constantly build? I've been saying for a long time that the city should be having an annex. Back in the Coochie administration when ShopRite was empty, and I suggested that ShopRite should be used for that, but instead Pershing came along and built there. The city lost an opportunity to have that building now is private. But if the Golden Door School downtown is empty, why don't we use that building? Why should it sit vacant while we pay rent to somebody else? From what I understand, that building is empty. It's owned by the redevelopment agency. So before we start to give money to a developer, let's take an inventory of the buildings we do own in Jersey City and look around. I remember when the city was trying to get rid of School 3 to a developer, and I stopped that, and because Peter Maka wanted that building, and the school decided, they can use it. Let's take an inventory of all the buildings we have, and at least the Golden Door Charter School has at least some parking. So that's my suggestion. Thank you very much.
Notes reporter.
Okay, to the President of the City Council and City Council members, number one, is the city short of water that we can't have? When they do the street cleaning down my street, it's like a little speck of water to clean it, and they don't get all the garbage, they leave half of it, and it's not fair. And then they want to give you a ticket of $75 now if you park while they're cleaning the streets, and they don't have cleaner. And I am so sick of the kids out here with a boom box at 1 o'clock in the morning, some of them. And then I'm sick of the garbage around my building where they buy food from the stores and then they come over there on the side of our building and eat the food and drink and leave their bottles and things there. I don't think it's fair. It's bringing in the rats. And there's one thing I don't need is some little mouse running around my house. I don't need it. And we need that taken care of. Thank you.
What street you live on? What street you live on? What street?
On Wade Street.
Wade?
Where?
Wade.
And Martin Luther King Jr. Drive?
Wayne?
Wade.
Oh, Wade. Okay.
Wade. Barbara Wise. Ethel Jones. Lorenzo Richardson. Laura Irwin. Charles Curtis. Jason Berg.
Gee, I knew it was coming, and I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members of the council. Thank you. I got 4. Oh, everyone's leaving. Okay, that's great. Interesting thing, you asked for about wearing a cap. The initials on here is TBM. Back 23 years ago, when I was a New York teacher, my students gave me the name, the Brother Man. And that student, where I got that?
Can't hear you, Jason.
Come on. They can't hear me? Oh, I'm too far, too close. All right, I'll address it. How you want to be?
The Newark teacher part, I like that. You know.
All right. Now, it was my first year in '91 when I started as a teacher. One of my students came up to me, an African-American student, at my door and said, "Hey, Mr. Berg, I got a gun and I'm going to shoot you." And I turned around, "Well, you know, I'm going to get back at you if you kill me." And he said, "How's that, Mr. Berg, with voodoo?" I said, "No, it's something better. It's called karma." "Mr. Berg, what's karma?" Well, karma is that I am here 32 years old and you take my life. I haven't finished what I have to do. So as a result, I'm going to haunt you, and if you have any children, I'll haunt them too. So anything bad that happening to you will be me as a spirit befalling you that bad luck. Now that same student gave me that name, and about 4 or 5 months later, I had an incident with one of my students in the same school in the 8th grade class, and this gentleman was very big, and I was maybe about 140 pounds at the time, and they saved my life. But again, the whole point in life is you always stand your ground. You never lose anything. Now, going forward with that, I'd like to know what is the status of the 24/7 security guards and how much the city had received for that incident, for that report. How many city buildings do we have that require 24/7 guards at 100%, at 100 units on that ordinance?
I don't know that information off the top of my head.
Okay, if that could be, I'll give you my email, you can send that on to me. Thank you. Now, everyone's talking about saving the city. Now, we do get community block grants, which gives a maximum of $15,000 per family, provided you have X amount of dollars under the set standard. Unfortunately, that's a limited amount of money. We really need to be saving our neighborhoods with some kind of a fund for sustainability. Remember, if a neighborhood goes, one neighbor house goes bad, then the rest may follow. It brings down the property values and self-esteem of the people in the area. You need, in that sense, this council needs to be thinking out of the box. Now, as a legislature, you have the ability to create legislation, to create a better city, and by doing that, you're setting your goals up, and actually that will help you do better in the city. We do have authorities, agencies, and departments that do have their plans. The question is, are the plans always in sync with what's going on? If they're not not in sync, and which creates problems in the future. I know we have lots of plans, but again, there's no overlay.
You have less than a minute left.
With that,
40 seconds. Sum up, please.
All right, sum up, please. Think for yourself, think for your constituents, and you'll be able to do more through your input and do more for the community. No one likes to hear that you're a rubber stamp, but if you're not coming up with your own ideas for the community, you will be perceived as rubber stampers. But please, break that mold, and you'll break everything to make things better. Thank you.
Monique Andrews. Monique Andrews. Felicia Collis. Joyce Willis.
Hello. Joyce Willis. I have to ask a question first because I don't know if what I want to say, I can say tonight. This is regarding an issue that was heard yesterday at the planning board. So it's a site plan issue that has yet to be approved by the planning board. So is that something that I can...
You can say anything during these 5 minutes. You're not on topic.
Okay. I wanted to speak about it's a rock crushing company that's on Caven Point Road. It's Liberty Stone at 50 Caven Point Road. They tried to get a 2-year extension past the planning board yesterday, but there were issues. I'm just asking that the council, when it does come before you, and I don't know when that's going to be, the name of the company is Liberty Stone. It's at 50 Caven Point Road. The company is very suspect. We meaning Graco and others, have spoke to them last night because we had certain questions that they could not answer. We're just asking, when it does come before you, could you please just investigate them further through the DEP and through their tactics?
What's the name of it? What was the
Is
name?
Liberty Stone,
The planning board didn't.
Liberty Stone and Adjugate, excuse me?
It was at the planning board last night, you said?
Yes.
They didn't pass it
They did not pass it yet because they wanted to,
for the planning board then.
It doesn't come to us yet.
but they changed from a 2-year to 1 year. They wouldn't pass it on 2 years, just 1 year.
Wait.
With
Joe,
conditions.
It's your turn, Jude.
Okay. She's going to finish it, but that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Phil Carrington.
Good evening to members of the City Council. There's no City Council President. City Council President told us we need to speak to him directly. Am I speaking to an empty chair? Well, I want to speak on two particular issues. I want to be fair in my assessment. There's always pros and cons to everything, positive and negative. In the last administration, I asked that each candidate focus particularly on the high unemployment of black men, especially in my community. According to the mayor's report, in fairness, he has said, and I haven't seen any documents that say different or anyone that contradict his statement. He said that the unemployment in all areas, included black men and included Ward F, is down. And to that I give credit, and I'm very pleased. If someone has some different numbers, please present them. I will confront him and tell him that he's not telling the truth. But so far, I'm pleased for that, primarily because it affects me in many different ways. Again, that's pro and the cons. I'm asking that the City Council ask the mayor or ask who is in charge to fire or suspend Elizabeth Kane for her behavior in the suspicion of the closing or the question of closing of the West India Carnival. Back in February, we had some problems that they were trying to create a law that would affect us, particularly the Puerto Rican Day Parade and other people, and that day was, they say that Ms. King was behind that in some kind of way. She also says she supported that. There was another charge where we were told that we have another festival on our particular day, the same particular place. It was an incident. And we wanted to give credit that that was some sort of kind of an incident. However, in the meeting, Councilwoman Diane Cohen asked that we would forgive the city for the error that was made, and we were blaming Elizabeth Kane for that as well. Well, Elizabeth Kane did not apologize to us or to anyone for that, primarily because she didn't think she had to. The reason why we asked that is because it was a conflict of interest. She either formed the organization that got the pass to bump us out, or she was in that organization. She could recuse herself if she wanted to, but she did not. And so we feel that this kind of behavior is unbecoming of any person in the city government or working for the city. Additionally, I don't know why we had at the meeting David Donnelly. As much as I despise some of the behavior of my friend, what's his name here, Borgiana, I would prefer to have him primarily because we wanted to have some kind of balance. And Borgiana does have experience in dealing with the police, and he have a perspective that would have been respected at that time. However, he was not there. But my point is that the organization had their event outside up to 7 o'clock. We had a license that went up until 9 o'clock. And we heard behind the scenes, because it could not be done without someone with power doing that, someone got behind the scene and created a stir or give an order to the police or some of the members of the department to cancel the event. Now, if we have a government document, you cannot override that document unless, which is a license by the way, unless you were creating some kind of safety hazard or something of that nature. But to do it in the way it was done was unfair, and so we think it's criminal in nature. Primarily because now it makes us fight, if you will, or confront the police for their actions. But the police is the enforcer of laws or orders, so someone had to get behind the scene and place that order, some high official. And since she is the director of cultural affairs, I think primarily that she's the one that did that, and I'm asking that the city look carefully at this, and that Ms. Kane must be suspended or reprimanded in some kind of way for this kind of behavior.
Thank you.
Well, that's it?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Anthony Borelli.
Hi, Tony Borelli, 362 8th Street. I'm also a board member of Bike JC, our local bicycle advocacy group. And I'm here because I understand that the city's planning a large round of street resurfacing. Going to be repaving a lot of streets. I know that's very much needed after the winter we had. But it's also a big opportunity to do some things that the city is already dedicated to doing. You folks very wisely passed a complete streets policy in 2011 that calls on the city to do things to make streets more walkable, bikeable, livable. It's happening, especially lately. We suddenly have the biggest bike lane network in the state. We have stop signs going up, which I know Councilwoman Osborne worked on. Speed humps, pedestrian plazas, a lot of great things are happening. But there's another aspect to this that's also very important, which is designed to actually save money for the taxpayers and get the biggest bang for the taxpayer buck when you are making this kind of improvement. And that is the timing of it is supposed to take advantage of street construction, which is rare in an urban setting, but also street reconstruction, such as we're about to do on many streets. And the idea is that, according to the policy, wherever feasible, you're supposed to try to do whatever you can to make streets more complete, as it were, whenever you rebuild them, whenever you redo them. So we have a very large opportunity coming up to do that. The advantages to that are pretty obvious when it's something little where you're just adding. You're putting down a couple of stripes of white for a bike lane. If you put it in 3 months before a resurfacing, it gets wiped out and it's a waste. You put it in the day after, you might keep it for years and years. It sits on top of the new asphalt, and you get a lot of life out of it. It's actually even more important as you do advanced kind of projects that involve moving something that's already there. For example, if you have very wide traffic lanes, very wide car lanes on a street, the current thinking is to narrow them a little bit. It actually improves traffic flow, it calms traffic. It also makes room for things like protected bike lanes, just saying. Also things like pedestrian islands. If you want to do something big like that, put an island in the middle of a big, busy street so that, say, somebody with a walker or a cane feels less intimidated, can maybe use 2 traffic light cycles to get across a busy street. That's the kind of thing that isn't just slapping down a little paint. It's the kind of thing where if you repave, if you resurface, and then you just put back all the old, outdated markings on the street, that's just a complete waste of money. It's a complete waste of tax dollars, because eventually we're all going in the direction of making these streets complete, or so you pledged to do. So I just want to urge you to very vigorously and rigorously follow this policy, which would seem to entail looking at each and every street on this list of repaved streets to see what can be done very proactively on each of these streets to make them more complete, more bikeable, more walkable, more livable. I'm not the one to say what's going to be done on these streets, but I'd like to see some kind of process where town engineers, planners, people from the administration, people from the council can work together to say, not just what we must do on each of these streets, but things that we might do a year from now or 2 years from now. Do those now when you'll get the most value out of them, when they'll have the longest life. Do them now rather than, going back after the repaving and putting down the old stuff and then having to just take it out again a year or 2 later. That just makes no sense. So, again, I don't know, maybe you folks have discussed some of this already, I honestly don't know, but I'd like to know if we can expect your support for this, if you have any processes in place, and if you're going to put a process in place to at least ask what can be done on each of these streets when you have this blank canvas to paint on. I just wonder if you have any thoughts on that. Anyone know if anything's being done on that?
I would like to add a little bit to it.
Yeah, we
I'm
can't
not
have
the
it back and
expert.
forth with the council.
I'm not the expert in traffic and engineering, but I'd like to offer some kind of common sense explanation so you don't think that we're just, a lot of things that happen in the city, we apply for grants for certain different kinds of activities or open space or street cleaning, sidewalk repair and that kind of thing. And the timing doesn't always come at the right time. However, we plan for it to come at the right time. But right now, we're still waiting for information to close our budget, which means the streets were supposed to be paved before we get to the other points. However, if we don't use that funding that's been provided, we lose it. So we don't know when we're going to be able to start the street paving until we have an approved budget. So we have to use the dollars that are available for what we plan to do now. So that's how that works. Hopefully, they'll resubmit the grant again, and we'll get funded to do it again once we've had our budget approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jenny Meyer. Steve Gucciardo.
Yes, thank you. I'll try to be brief. My name is...
You'll be 5 minutes.
Yes, I'll be less than that. My name is Stephen Gucciardo, speaking on behalf of the Embankment Preservation Coalition, and I'm speaking in support of the OFA ordinance. We've been working since 1998 to preserve the historic Horstman's Branch embankment and its longer transportation corridor for public use. By 2000, we succeeded in obtaining listing on the State Register of Historic Places and determination of eligibility for the National Register. And in 2003, the city made the 6th Street embankment a municipal landmark. By 2004, we had enough research to be convinced that the Horstman's Branch was a line of railroad that was required to receive federal licensing before it could be sold to anyone for non-rail use. Under federal law, reviews would have been conducted with the goal for the appropriate treatment of the historic site. In 2005, Conrail sold this rail line for non-rail use without the required federal approval to do so and deprived the public of its rights to participate in the review process. We spoke out about this, and Jersey City, to its credit, listened to us, and joined by Rails to Trails Conservancy, the Embankment Preservation Coalition, and the city, led a petition to the Surface Transportation Board, the regulatory agency with authority over rail abandonments, asking it to determine whether the property was a rail line subject to its authority and therefore eligible for certain federal and state protections. The agency ruled that it was indeed a rail line under its authority. Conrail and the purchaser challenged the ruling of the STB, and we've been in federal court ever since. Now, 8 years later, we have final determinations from the federal courts and the STB that the Horstman's Branch is a federally regulated line of rail, not ordinary real estate, and must be treated as such. I just want to congratulate the mayor and this council and the administration for getting us to this point, and for previous mayors and those councils. I mean, we've been at this now for quite a long time, and we think it's worth celebrating to have gotten to this point with so much support and cooperation from the community, from the region, from the county. This is a tremendous opportunity now to be in front of STB, where we should have been 8 years ago. On August 11, 2014, the Surface Transportation Board issued two important decisions in favor of the City of Jersey City and its partners, Rails to Trails Conservancy and the Embankment Preservation Coalition. In the first decision, STB said again what it said in 2006, that the Horstmas branch is a rail line subject to STB abandon authority, and denied the developer's petition for an exemption from this law. In the second decision, the STB reopened the rail abandonment proceedings. We have those decisions with us and would like Robert, the clerk, to file them, and we've also given him a copy for each of the council members for their convenience. These two decisions mean the city and the public can now actively seek preservation opportunities and remedies before the STB that we were denied 8 years ago. We support the city's application for an offer of financial assistance. The OFA, we believe, is the most practical and effective remedy, and we thank you for voting yes on the first reading, and we hope you vote yes on the second reading as well. Thanks for your time.
Peter Delman. I defer. Maureen Crowley. Teresa Patterson.
Teresa Patterson, 185 Arlington Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey. I want to talk tonight in reference to a stone crushing company that's on Caven Point Road in Jersey City. And the community doesn't know the company is there, and the community has not been notified that this company is there. And they're crushing stone, which is emitting dust into the air. Our community, which is Ward F, we are kind of tired of having the companies that's emitting dust. We have the chromium in our community, chromium-6 in our community that's being cleaned up now. We have a mulching company that's reliable, which emits an odor that's unbearable. When I go in my house and I close my door, I can still smell it with the windows and the doors closed. So that's another company. So now we have a stone crushing company that's in our community, and we were never told that the company was going to start up there. So that's more toxic pollution in our community. And I think enough is enough. I think maybe the city council needs to investigate this company. They've already gotten a lease for 1 year and they want to extend it, and we're saying no. We don't want any more polluters in our community. Getting rid of the chromium, I'd say the chromium was in the community since the 1960s. They were ordered to clean it up in the 1980s. It never got cleaned up. And in the 90s, it never got cleaned up. So now we have a stone crushing company that's coming in to emit more dust in our community. So do we have to wait until we find out that it's going to cause, it's not good for the health of the community? Or should we just say no now? Enough is enough. Thank you for listening.
Joseph Scott,
Patterson.
who is here and gone. June Jones.
Ms. Patterson, what's the name of the company?
Liberty. Liberty, same as before, Liberty Stone. June Jones is going to speak about the same thing.
Good evening. The name of the company is Liberty Stone and Aggregates, LLC. They are located at 506 Caven Point Avenue. I learned that this was on the planning board agenda last night, and we went well, I saw the agenda on Monday. We don't get the agenda much in advance, so there's not a whole lot of time to do research. And just to try and find out some answers about it, I spoke to Mary Ann Bucci Carter. She told me that the city's position was to support it. And then I just wanted to know where the company came from, because nobody in the neighborhood knew the company existed. And we're right on the other side, Morris Canal. You know, the canal crossing used to be a part of the Morris Canal redevelopment zone. Graco is on the other side. They didn't know about it. So I asked them. They didn't know. I didn't know. So we just want to know, how did that happen? And the important thing is, how did this company get approved to operate in a redevelopment zone whose core purpose was to rid industry from the beginning? And you know, we have serious environmental issues there. Serious environmental issues. The cancer clusters around that chromium site is huge. The issue with the stone crushing company is that not only do we feel that there was not due process in the noticing, because nobody seems to know much about it, but the process in which they're actually operating. I understand that I received a package with information that talked about the startup of this company and the approval and the conditions that were supposed to be met when this company started up. And none of the conditions, it appears, have been met. There's documentation from the MUA, there's documentation from several engineering companies, several entities of Jersey City that complained about this company, allegations of them using illegal use of water, using the fire hydrants that are not metered. The suppression system that they use to crush these stones is mandated to hold down the dust. So United Water, as of yesterday, don't even have them listed as a client. So where are they getting their water from? There's some serious issues here. I think you might have received a packet today. You may not have a chance to look at it because there's a lot in there, but I think that every single council person should take a look at this information. And why? This company started up 3 years ago. It was after the mandate of the redevelopment plan. The core of what the people talked about, and ridding the pollution in the neighborhood, and then planning, being allowed to let them use this or have the power as an interim use, is not right. How do they have the power or the authority? I don't think they have the authority to govern what EPA and DEP says is appropriate. And these are the companies, the governing agencies, that govern what these stone companies are doing. I don't want to make false allegations. It's all on paper. I haven't been able to prove whether this is true or not, but I can tell you that I did verify that there is no water account with United Water. And then in closing, I would just ask this council that you would at least investigate what the agreement was, how it came into existence. This would have been not under your tenure, Councilwoman. This would have been during the tenure of Viola Richardson. And if there was any involvement, because there seems to be not a whole lot of documentation, if you would investigate and the compliance of what they're doing. We would also like the company to come to our neighborhood and demonstrate what the crushing, how that actually operates and what dust is being emitted in the air. Thank you.
Thank you,
I would
June.
just like to say, June, before you go, I had not received the package as of your telephone call to me.
Okay.
And I don't know if I received it yet because I was in the field all day, but I'd appreciate if you get me a copy.
I certainly
of
will.
What you have,
I
just
certainly
in case
will.
that I don't have a copy.
And can I give it to
that I
Robert so he
talk
can
to legal.
distribute it to the council people? Would you do that for me, Mr. Burns?
Sure.
Okay, very good. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Darlene Burke.
Good evening, council members. You know, it was almost prophetic that earlier this week there was a movie on called Network. And you know, Network, the lead character, one of the things he happened to say is, I'm as mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And that's what brings me right here, is I'm as mad as hell about a project that's going on in Jersey City that doesn't engage the community that it's affecting, and it happens to be traffic humps. Okay? They're going on blocks and haven't even spoken to any of the residents of those particular blocks. Now listen, I'm all for traffic calming, for slowing down speeding, and I am really about pedestrian safety and school children being able to walk safely to school. My block, Duncan and the Kennedy Boulevard, has been the site of horrific accidents that have killed people, particularly even as school crossing guard. But you know what really angers me is that on Duncan Avenue we have traffic humps being installed that not one person on the block was even aware of. That gets me annoyed. Because you know what? When you put them on my block, I have to go over them each and every day. And I understand slowing down the traffic on Duncan Avenue. We had NJTPA and Rutgers up here to do a traffic study of the boulevard between Communipaw and Montgomery Street because of the death of that young man on Fairmont Avenue. To engage, get the information so that we can create a safer neighborhood. So here, all of us residents walk the walk with all of the state officials and with the university officials, and then when it comes to implementation, we're not even at the table. All right? Now, I recognize that it's happening all over Jersey City. I was totally unaware of it. Someone at the farmers market shared with me that there was a Facebook notification to the residents via our mayor's website or Facebook page that included a map. And yet it's not on the municipal city website. You can't find that map anywhere. Well, you know what? How many times have residents gotten up here and asked for redevelopment plans to be on this website, that all the agendas are on the website, that information that affects us is on the website, and yet this, which affects neighborhoods and blocks, is nowhere to be found. Now, I gave you what amounts to printouts from the Federal Transportation Highway Association that speaks about speed humps. And every one of your neighborhoods is having them installed, but they're doing it incorrectly. Okay? There is a specific specification how they get installed. They're no more than 3.5 inches high. They have to be anywhere from 12 to 22 feet, and if fire engines go over them, they have to be 22 feet wide. They have to have an incline of 6 feet, getting up to that 3 inches, a platform, and then the last 6 feet down 3 inches. That's so fire engines and ambulances don't jar either the riders as they're trying to get to the location or the patients once they're in the ambulance. These are important things because otherwise the ambulance is slowing down, or, I see it, or the fire engine is slowing down because now they're on streets, particularly Duncan Avenue. That engine number 9 is probably one of the busiest houses in the city. And now what you're doing is installing speed humps on an avenue that they use to get westbound. For years we were told we couldn't do things because of that firehouse, and yet here we are today. I called the fire department. They weren't even informed, nor did they sit at the table. And lastly, on the last page, just let me draw your attention to the Jersey City Master Plan circulation element, and I've highlighted all parts of this for you to look at because this is important information you should be aware of. On the next to last page, it says, there should be no more than 5% long wheelbase vehicles, and the street should not be a primary emergency response route or a bus route. It's also important that a majority of the residents support the use of speed humps on their local street. And if this city isn't talking to the residents, I'm sorry, city speaking to the residents that are actually living there and being affected daily, well, shame on this city. Because I, who am a taxpayer and have really worked hard to make this city a better place to live, am really being dished by the city, and that's wrong.
Thank you. Bruce Alston. Bruce Alston is not here. That concludes the speakers list, council members. We'll allude to petitions and communications, items 6A through 6Z17. Officers' communications 7A through K. Reports of directors 8A through C. We're to the claims. And addendum number 1. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajano. Yun. Osborne. Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Lavaro.
Aye.
Claims in addendum number 1 approved 9-0. 10A through J. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajano. Yun.
Aye.
Osborne. Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Lavaro.
Aye.
We have a 9-0 vote for 10A through 10J, K through T. Air conditioners on. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajano. Yun.
Aye.
Osborne. Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman.
Aye.
Lavaro.
Aye.
9-0 for K through T. U through Z2. Councilperson Gajewski.
Aye.
Ramchal.
Aye.
Bajano. Yun.
Aye.
Osborne. Coleman.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
Waterman. Lavaro.
Aye.
We have a 9-0 vote for 10U through 10Z2. That's the balance of business. Could I have a motion to adjourn at 8:30 p.m.? Who made the, wait. Who made the motion?
Motion. Councilwoman Coleman.
Seconded by? Councilperson Ramchal. To adjourn by acclamation at 8:30 p.m. Say goodnight, everyone.
Good night. I want to thank you, council colleagues. We had a great meeting this evening.